Welcome to this presentation of What is Folio? Single Platform, Infinite Possibilities. For those of you who need a little bit of a refresher or to start from the ground up, what is Folio? Well, it's a single platform to manage all library collections, print, electronic, as well as library workflows and all integrations. One thing I want to make really clear here when we're talking about what is Folio, Folio allows the integrated library system, or ILS, to manage the print collections historically and over time, as well as ERM, or electronic resource management tools. So both of those functions, both of those products have been combined into a single platform, which is Folio. And that's why I use the analogy of 1 times 1 equals 1. But in addition, Folio is either or, which means that Folio can serve as your full library services platform for your print and electronic resources for all of your services in your library. But it can also serve as just the ERM. This is one place where Folio differentiates itself from other products in the market. And it's always good to talk about kind of big themes of what Folio is trying to achieve and what Folio has been achieving so far. It's definitely librarian sourced. It's an open source product that allows librarians to have a real voice, as well as test, help develop, help prioritize where Folio is going, what Folio can do. And that focus extends to implementation projects, to libraries and institutions adopting Folio, which means that we are focused on all of the workflows that you need to have working, that your library needs to have working, as well as outstanding or future goals that your library can help influence. Which workflows are important to you? Which workflows need some more work or additional functionality to serve your individual library's needs? And then, of course, Folio is built on integrations. I could say the word or the acronym API, but really what we want to talk about is your data coming in, coming out of Folio in support of your users, in support of your collections, in support of your services. So going back to the concept of Folio being able to serve as an ERM, or electronic resource management tool, I'd like to focus in on this as one of the main attributes, one of the main benefits of Folio is that there is the ability to manage all of your databases, your ebooks, your e-journals, and it's leveraged in real time. So let's look at that in the interface. For example, in the eHoldings app, and here we are in Live Folio, in the eHoldings app, I have searched for academic search in packages, and I have retrieved both non-selected and selected for this specific institution. The main thing I want to focus in on with this screen is that Folio's eHoldings app is actually connected to the global EBSCO knowledge base in real time. And so changes can be made in EBSCO admin, HLM, as well as Folio, and show up in the other interface. There's no extraction, there's no loading, there's no copy and pasting. It's real-time work, it's real-time realization of efforts. The e-resource management tool also allows management of agreements, licenses, and will work with third-party products like Box if your specific library already utilizes third-party tools like Box to administer financial documents and confidential documents you want to have in a controlled environment. One other benefit and one exciting thing that a lot of librarians will ask about is all of those license terms that are already housed in your agreements, in your licenses, being able to expose those in the discovery layer, in the patron-facing interface that your researchers, your faculty, your students will be using. And here's an example of those license terms from the Folio apps being surfaced and displayed within the patron-facing interface to allow them to understand what the license terms for this specific e-resource are. Moving from e-resource workflows into print workflows, the inventory app, of course, allows all of your collections, your print, as well as your ebooks, the collections that your library holds and allows you to see across formats, print and electronic, to start having a real global view of your collections. And this, of course, also allows great interfaces with resource sharing tools and book jobbers like Gobi that would allow you to order and see those order records immediately show up via those integrations. A few other pieces with the print workflows just to talk about. I have a couple of slides here to look at and give you some highlights of QuickMark, as well as data import. You can read the text that's on here, but I want to show you in just a second, as well as the receiving app for some of that serials workflow. So let's just take a look at a couple of these examples. For example, in the inventory app, here we are. I'm going to search for a specific record, and let's just use this ID and search for a book, food, animals, and the environment. And we can see that this is not the full MARC record, but it's all of the metadata that is required to allow resource sharing, to allow circulation, to allow holds and requests to be visible and usable within a variety of both Folio, as well as a discovery layer, as well as other third-party tools dealing with resource sharing. I mentioned the data import app, and just a quick view into data import that we would be bringing in MARC files as well as other MARC files. Folio starts with MARC 21 data, but that's not the end point. That is the starting point in terms of the formats and the data that we will support. An example of what a log looks like from that resulting data import tool. It's available here. We don't have to go onto a server outside of Folio. We can quickly check in on the results of our import and overlay of data. And I mentioned also the receiving app, that if we were searching for a journal, a serial journal of modern library platforms, and we select and find this, we can also look at this screen and start using some of the standard processes to receive or to add an unexpected piece or issue, a Zeitschrift that comes in within the course of that serial. And then finally, just a little bit about the finance and acquisitions workflows. That Folio is designed to support very simple, straightforward, single institution, single fiscal year, single budget, multiple funds, as well as beginning and definitely supporting more consortial and more complex financial structures. For example, multiple campuses, multiple libraries, maybe even multiple fiscal years. And the ability to have both simple and complex is one of those driving forces behind Folio functionality, that it really depends on what your library, what your institution needs. So returning to that initial slide, Folio right now, we are both working with and reliant upon librarian and paraprofessionals' feedback, participation. We want this to be a system that works for a myriad of libraries, a wide variety and spectrum of libraries and institutions. We want to focus in on your workflows, prioritize those highly, and work with the community, the Folio community, to drive development into what is most needed, what is most highly prioritized by the community. And that, of course, also relies upon and requires a whole multiplicity of and myriad integrations for Folio to work with all of the systems that each of the Folio adopters need and will use. So thank you for your time and your attention.